Hi, I'm Sarah and this is my channel, So Sarah Sewed. In today's video, I'll be just chatting about what I've been sewing recently and what my plans are for this week. I think everywhere in Australia at the moment is going through a kind of a winter heat wave. I believe pretty much everywhere is somewhere between 7 to 9 degrees warmer than the usual average temperature. So it's quite warm today. I think the temperature is going to be about 22 or 23 degrees, but the sun is warm. So I'm wearing a Jackson tee today, and this fabric is from Dupes Designs, and I recently bought a few more of their fabrics, and I've got one I'm going to talk to you about today as well. But yeah, this is just a cotton jersey that I've made a Jackson tee in by Helen's Closet in the long length. So this t-shirt comes in cropped or a longer length t-shirt, but it also can be made into a sweater, and I've got plans for one of those this week. So I've had a few things on the go recently, and that's kind of unusual for me in terms of my sewing. I usually start a project, finish the project, then move on. But I started sewing up a Bestie Bag, which is a pattern by BF Patterns, or Blackbird Fabrics Patterns. There are a couple of different views for the pattern. There's a medium one and a large one, and then there are different ways that you can, and then there are different options for the strap. So whether you use webbing or whether you use a fabric strap, and you can knot it. There's a few different ways you can do it. They also put out an extension pack, the baby Bestie Bag, and I bought that one too. But the one I'm sewing up at the moment is the medium size, and I made a start on this last weekend. For the outer fabric, I'm using this canvas, a navy blue canvas or cotton twill from My Design, and then the lining I'm using a block print cotton, also from My Design. And this is the section I have already started. So I've been working on the lining. I've put a little pocket in there. And then I got to the step where I needed to attach this to the zipper. And that's when I realized that I had the wrong size zip. So this pattern, you need a very specific size zip. You need number 5 closed end 38 centimeter zip. And I have struggled to find that zip. And I thought I had found one. And I went to sew my fabric to the zip, and then I realized that I'd only bought a 35 centimeter zip, so it wasn't going to work. So I've been on the hunt for a zip. So this project has needed to be put aside for the rest of the week. And I ended up not being able to find one that I was happy with. The only one I could find was a bright red one, and it wouldn't have looked good with this project. So I have ordered just some zip tape, which then you cut and make your own closed end, I believe. I haven't done it before, but I have found a YouTube video explaining it. It doesn't look too hard, and I think being able to use zipper tape rather than pre-cut lengths will make this a lot easier to source zips that I'm happy with. So that should be coming soon. It was posted on Tuesday apparently, but it's still sitting exactly where it left. So it's now Sunday. Hopefully that will arrive this week. But in the meantime, I've started some other things. If you watched my Me Made May series, you will maybe remember that I talked about wanting a cropped black cardigan. I felt like that would really fill a gap in my wardrobe. So I ended up buying some French terry a couple of months ago with that in mind. And this week I thought it was time to sew that up. I have a lot of really fun, bright, colorful, pretty fabrics I would love to sew with, but I forced myself to make the practical black item, and it's nearly finished. So I made a Marlo sweater or Marlo cardigan by True Bias. This is a pattern I've made before, but the first time I made it, I made the long length version. So there's a long length and there's a crop length. So this time I made the crop length. And as I said, it's just in a black French terry. So I started this on Friday night and finished it yesterday, Saturday. So it's a really quick project, but I had really big issues with trying to sew the buttonholes on this one. As always, I used a scrap of the same fabric. I did some practice buttonholes. They worked absolutely beautifully on my scrap. And then as soon as I put it through the machine, it just kept starting and then stopping. And you probably can't even see, but here's the dodgy one. and I had to unpick it. I had to unpick it a couple of times, which is already very hard to do, I find. Unpicking a buttonhole, there's such tight stitches, and then knit fabric, again, makes it really hard. So I kind of just ended up doing one next to it. I ended up turning over the fabric because I think what was happening was my buttonhole foot was feeling this, the seams, and stopping, feeling like, and it would turn around. Anyway, so I did it on the other side, and look, you can barely even see them. So hopefully that will work well. And I'm very lucky because I live very close to a button shop called Button Mania. It's about a 3-minute drive from here. So I went there and visited yesterday morning to pick up the perfect buttons for this project. So this cardigan takes 3 buttons, and I've just chosen a bit of a shiny. I think that's going to work perfectly. So my plan is to hand sew them on today. I have a friend coming over in a few minutes, and we're going to spend some time sewing together today. And I'm going to start a new project when she's here. And that's one I cut out last night, and it is a present for my niece. I have a niece who's turning 3 next weekend, but I'm making her a size 4 jumper so that she can get as much wear out of it as possible. I'm using a pattern I haven't used before, but I have used the baby version of the pattern. So this is a Tada Patterns drop sleeve sweater. So I've made the baby version, and I've now bought the size 4 to 12 version, and I'm making just a simple plain sweater. There are a lot of different options you can add to customize this. So not only is there a crop length and a regular length hem, you can also splice and use different fabrics. You can add like a little V feature. You can add a kangaroo pocket. You can add a hood. I am not doing any of those things. I'm just using fabric and then ribbing for the neckband, cuffs, and hem. And I'll show you what I'm using. So this is a fabric from one of the Dupes Designs fabrics that I bought recently when they were offering their print on demand service. So I bought this dark blue drops on French terry. So it's this beautiful rainbow dots. Oops, that's upside down. So there's the sleeves. And then I chose a ribbing that I'm going to be using, as I said, as the neckband, cuffs, and hem. Because there are so many different colors in these drops, there'd be so many different colors that would work. But when you're buying fabrics online, which I usually am, it's hard to get the right match. So even if I wanted a green, for example, it mightn't have been the right green. I ended up buying 3 different pinks and purples and then going with the one that was, I thought, the best match. So I'm going with this purple, and that is from Wattle Hill Fabrics, an online store. I believe it's based in Queensland, and they got that in the mail. I think I ordered it one night and it was in the mail the next morning. So that came really quickly, and yeah, I'm looking forward to sewing that up because I know that will be a really quick sew. Yes. So that's the plan for today. And then I'm making myself a matching one. So I'm using this same pattern as I used for the Jackson tee, but this time I'm going to be making a sweater in the cropped length. I haven't done that before. I've made the regular length of the Jackson pullover, and I wear it a lot, but I thought it would be fun to have a bright, colorful drops one as well. So I'm using the exact same fabric and the exact same ribbing, and I'm looking forward to making that. So hopefully I will get a good start on those today. I'll make the little one first and then I'll move on to my own. And then with this warmer weather, I've been really excited to start thinking about my spring plans. And so I ordered some new patterns, and I had some printed with Plan Make Do, who do a beautiful job at printing A0 patterns. And one of the ones I ordered was the Nell pattern, which is by Tilly and the Buttons. I think it's their newest pattern. So here's the way the printed pattern arrives. And I haven't opened this one up, but it will, there will be a stamp on it saying that the scaling has all been checked and it's all ready to go. Being a new pattern by Tilly and the Buttons, this one did have layers, so I could just choose my size to print. So that makes it easier. I'm planning to make the dress version. So there are lots of different options with this. There's different sleeve lengths, there's different sleeve designs, there's different closures. So I'm just going to make the button front dress, and I'm going to use this variety hour fabric that was kindly given to me by one of my friends at work. She bought some and then she had some left over, and I think there's about 2.5 meters. So I'm hoping that's enough to make the Nell dress, and I reckon that might be my next project after I've done the jumpers, if my zip hasn't arrived yet. So that will give me plenty to work on this week. My friend is due to arrive any minute, so I will say goodbye now, but I will try and pop back at the end of the day to show you where I got up to with those projects. So I'll see you later. Hello again. Okay, so I had a lovely afternoon of sewing and chatting with my friend, and I've made a good start on my niece's drop sleeve sweater. So I'll show you where I got up to. So the only other things I need to do now are add the little ribbing cuffs and the hem band, and that will be finished. So I chose a Kylie and the Machine label, and that was from a collaboration with Brooke Gosson. So saying, "You are awesome." And I think the colors work really well with this jumper. So I'm very, very happy with how that is coming together, and looking forward to finishing that and then making a start on my own. So just a quick catch-up video from me today to let you know what I've been working on recently. Next week I'm planning to return with my plans for September sewing, and I have a lot of fabrics and ideas that I'd love to share with you for that one. So hopefully I'll see you then, and I hope you have a lovely week. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.